Good to see you both. I'm very happy to have you here.
Man. It's been so long.
It's been so long.
Actually, when I saw you, I was like, he looks the same. He hasn't changed.
Thankfully,
that's a good thing, man.
Yeah. Last time we saw each other, we were in Bournemouth.
Bournemouth about 3 years ago or something.
Something like this. Yeah.
Oh, this is the last time we saw each other was 3 years ago.
Yeah, we worked together.
And you're working together now.
Yeah, we are working in the same company now.
Yeah. I know, but like you haven't seen each other. That's what the pandemic does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's unbelievable. Yeah, you joined us recently. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. You look the same to me. Last time I saw you on a video.
In the Zoom call.
Zoom call, yeah. You look exactly like your Zoom call.
Same. You look prettier.
Stop it. Yeah.
That's because of my makeup.
Yeah. This the makeup.
All the detail.
The makeup. I thought we're not gonna talk about the makeup we had.
Yeah, sorry.
We can cut this in there. Okay. Don't worry. Yeah, it's actually funny because when we talked for the first time, I wasn't in at MPC, like I wasn't in the industry. I was working in something else, and we wanted to do this. And I remember when I first started at MPC, like 2 months ago, like the first thing I did, like I was like, I found you on Space Chat. I was like, hello, guess who's here? Guess who came? Yeah, it's cool.
The thing is now, I can say this now, but I want to have as much this type of podcast as possible. I try to avoid, as if I can, unless the person is very far away. I would like to do like more in person podcasts rather than having Zoom.
Because everything is like all your life is on Zoom calls nowadays. It's nice to.
The whole chemistry, man, is different in person. Like when you see a person and when you can actually. I don't know, like even seeing the light and seeing how it reflects from the person.
Seeing different. Each other, meeting new people. You saw my part of my family, and I was happy seeing you for the first time and seeing you again, and having Loris for the first time and Zach for the third now. Zach, third or fourth?
More.
Fifth?
10. He's counting. It's 10.
We don't have even 10 episodes yet. I think it's the fourth time. Yeah. Because he was not with me. You were not with me in Paris.
Yeah, and Mohammed, the first one because it was remotely.
And the second one, Mohammed. Yeah, the three first episodes actually.
Yeah.
Because
the third I was here. It was
the fourth, Nikki.
It was the fourth.
Yeah, it was the fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, I was struggling by myself until you come here.
That's for those who don't know, Zakaria is the hero behind the scene, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So just so they know.
Thank you to both Loris and Zach for the help for today. Thank you very much. And hopefully next time we won't need Mati.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in VFX industry, Ali?
The first studio I worked in is in 2016. But I worked freelance like many years before that, to be honest. But it wasn't like it wasn't in a bigger shows, So it was more like internet entertainment and smaller shows, for mostly.
Okay.
But after that, when I came to London, the industry is bigger here, so more chances, more opportunities, and
so you
from
were
here.
Sorry to interrupt you.
That's
you were
okay.
born and grew up in Norway.
I'm not born in Norway, actually. I was born.
Okay. I thought you were born in Norway.
No,
Sorry.
I was born on my parents' way out of Iraq in the Gulf War in the 90s. So I was born in the camps of Rafah, which is on the borders between Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Well, it's across the borders.
Yeah.
On the Saudi side. I was born in rough times. I guess I'm a war baby in
90s.
In 90s.
The first Gulf.
The first one.
First war. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was 2 years when I got to Norway.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I was very young.
I always thought. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I mean I've lived my whole life in Norway.
Yeah, of course.
So I see myself as a Norwegian.
Of course. Yeah. No, that's for sure.
Because at 2 years you didn't have a sense of nationalism.
No, it's a funny joke we have. Like when we studied.
He's Saudi Arabian.
Yeah, like they were joking about that I'm Saudi Arabian. I was like, I mean, no offense to Saudi Arabia.
Just because when you were like what your passport says you're born in.
Yeah.
Like usually in countries, like a lot of European countries, if you're born in a country, you're from that country.
Yeah.
Whatever, but like it doesn't work like that in the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's true.
You're born in Saudi Arabia, that doesn't mean you're Saudi Arabian.
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
nationality is like something in some countries that like you need to either be from that population or like you need to deserve it after like a long time.
Yeah, and I have no connection at all with the country, you know. So it's hard to like. I'm my parents are Iraqi, so they lived their whole life in Iraq before that, and just happened when they escaped the trouble.
It's a chapter. It's a small
it's like a small chapter
of your life.
Exactly. And for some, it's you're Saudi, and for others, it's like
that's crazy.
Do whatever you want to wait.
For some,
so he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of French people who were born in Algeria, for instance.
Yeah.
But
because the French used to go and live there, and like it was part of their extended.
I mean, even France stayed in Algeria for 130 years.
Wow,
so, it's a long time.
Well, they only stayed for like 15 years or 20 years in Lebanon, but like still during the French mandate, everything is French in Lebanon, like the whole schooling system, and it's like a second national language.
But
they stayed for a short time. But people who worked with the French mandate, for example, their descendants today, like I have a friend. His grandfather worked with the French mandate in the early 1900s. All the family has the French passport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're French citizens?
Yeah. So they're French citizens, even though they were born and grew up in Lebanon. They just
you can
like
inherited
it or something.
That's another problem.
Lucky bastards.
Yeah, that's true, because that's what that I mean boils my blood actually when I hear, for instance, in a lot of Middle Eastern countries. For instance, the mother cannot transmit or cannot give her nationality to the
child.
Kids.
Yeah. My mother couldn't give me my nationality.
Yeah, that's I can't. For instance, in Tunisia you can. Morocco, I think you can as well.
I think they change. They don't change, but like so in Lebanon, the mother doesn't give, like, even if you're French, like your dad is French and your mother is Lebanese, you cannot be Lebanese. My cousin is from Corsica.
Yeah.
He grew up in Lebanon, born and grew up in Lebanon all his life. He's not Lebanese. He's just French. It's just the mother doesn't pass the nationality.
Yeah, that I don't get this. For me, it doesn't make any sense. It's the same. I mean, I had my third guest of this podcast, Basil Al-Madi. His father is Palestinian, and his mom is Syrian. He can't get his mom's nationality.
Yeah, I'm the same. My dad is Palestinian. So my father's family comes from Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was born in Lebanon to a Lebanese mother.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in Lebanon to also a Lebanese mother. We were Palestinians all our lives with like the refugee travel document.
It's not even a passport, actually.
No, it's a travel document. It was handwritten. So you go to
it's not accepted anywhere.
So you can put Ali's picture in your.
Exactly. It doesn't, like you go. I got stopped like in Amsterdam, and in another European country, I forgot, and they hold you there because if I was like border control, I would stop me because it was like a big book, and my name is handwritten with like a big and the date of birth is like, it just says the year. It's a joke. It's like written quickly, you know.
How can you get a visa
eventually?
Where do they stamp the visa, or is it an electronic visa?
No. It looks like a passport. It was just like the ones that were printed in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
It has places for visas. No, it's not. It's a passport.
But
it looks like a passport. It's just bigger. Okay. It's not foldable. It's like hardcover, so you can't really like hide it, and it's big.
But now it's changed, eh?
Now it's changed. Yeah, like.
Oh, really?
Well, it changed. So now the Lebanese government is printing modern travel documents, so they look like normal passports, but they're still the same status. They can't take you anywhere.
Oh
my status changed. Like I became Lebanese like 3 years ago.
That's a good news.
Yeah.
No?
Better news.
Slightly better. It's the same thing.
I'm luckier than most Palestinians.
Yeah, that's another thing that I can't understand. So I was born in France. I was born and grew up in France. Well, partly in France, from Tunisian parents. So I'm French and Tunisian.
Yeah.
Because I was born and grew up in France, so I can be French. But for instance, if my son Adam would go to
Well, you
Lebanon.
can't be French, or you can.
I can.
Yeah.
I'm French and Tunisian. I can be both.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's say, imagine if my mother was Tunisian and my father was French, I could inherit two
Right,
nationalities.
I see.
Yeah.
Which is not the case in other Middle Eastern countries.
No.
unfortunately.
I guess it's always about, like, the rules come
It's
from like longer time and patriarchy, and also they want to keep the, not necessarily the blood, but also like they keep the the population. Also, it's always like Lebanon has all these, like, I don't know, like 19 official religions in such a tiny country.
Official, and it's between brackets because
exactly,
it's more than that.
And sects and stuff, and they want to keep the ratios of the population. So if they nationalize all the Palestinians, then the Sunni population would increase. So politics doesn't work for politicians, right?
Of course,
It's all about the politics at the top, I guess.
Politics and religion in the Middle East. That's what it is. Whereas in, like, French is like, I don't know how you say it.
Well, I mean,
it's separation of the state and the religion since 1995.
It's always about politics everywhere, I think. But it's
of course,
in the Middle East.
True.
In the Middle East is more. Unfortunately, the culture is more dominant in the society than anywhere else. To be honest, like the culture and the religion. They goes together. Not all of the countries. I mean, they're secular countries. Like
secular, Like Turkey is a secular country.
Yeah,
but look,
exactly.
Like when sometimes politics can take a turn, and
of course,
play on people's emotions and people's connections to their religion. But I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, isn't it just? It's really just a paper. Obviously, it's everything. Like for me, it's all your life, that paper, because
of course,
that paper decides if I could go to a country or not. And I've been rejected to countries just because of that paper. But
I mean, because I'm French, I can go to Lebanon. I can go to Iraq if I want to. You can't go.
I can't come to your place unless they approve me. Like like a long time. Like you can't just like let's go to France. Like let's do a.
It's not that easy as
as easy. You know, like how people do these impromptu, like
last minute things.
Last minute, let's go crazy. It's like, no, you have to stay here. You have to plan 3 months ahead, and maybe you'll go. But it is just. I mean, I've always felt Lebanese. What else can I feel? This is where I grew up. Just because a paper didn't say that I am. I still felt it.
That's another thing. I talk a lot about it in this podcast. It's identity. So identity, it's a lot of things. I mean, where you grew up, from where your parents are coming from, and where you're actually living. Because we like it or not, we live. For instance, both of us. You almost was born in Europe. I was born in Europe, and I lived majority of my life in Europe. So. We like it or not, I mean, we get influenced by the way we live here. So even if we don't.
But your heritage is different, so that clashes.
Exactly. It doesn't necessarily clashes, to be honest.
It clashes like a nice, not always negatively.
Of course. No, I agree. Yeah. No, that's true. But we can be both again. We don't have to. We don't, because in France it's different than other countries. They want you to be like in Rome. You do like Romans, you know.
It's not always the case, though. I think especially I'm talking from my own experience. I mean, when I lived in Norway, I felt very accepted by the Norwegians in a way. But I see, like, for example, my siblings. I have some of them are very religious in a way, maybe a bit different than me, but they are accepted differently. So you see. When they go to Iraq, they are seen as Norwegians, and then when they are in Norway, they are seen as Iraqis in a way. And I didn't understand that very much early on, but now I see it a lot more, especially in Norway. I mean, London is a very diverse place, and it's very accepting in a way. But there is no exact place you feel like your home. So there's always like a where do I belong in a way. So it's not always.
It's not as easy. It's not black or white. It's I mean, it's never okay. I feel good here. I don't feel good there. I mean, it's it goes and it goes. It come and goes. So it really depends.
It depends. A lot. And I think. The more you talk about it with people, I think, especially with the people that you feel alienate you in a way, it becomes easier, I think, from my own experience.
Yeah,
at least,
no, I agree.
The more I have a lot of Norwegian friends, and the more I tell them that, like, do I actually belong in this country as an individual? They would of course say, like, I mean, you're my friend, of course you belong here, and but you don't quite feel that 100%. You still feel a bit of difference.
You will feel different, of course, because you are different. Because your family has a different culture, a different background.
Exactly.
They have different.
For you, it's been the same more or less for generations, actually. But do you still feel it that you don't?
For me, it's different because I didn't grow up in Europe from an Arab family. I grew up in Lebanon from a Palestinian family, and I think we talked about this once in a chat. Like, what are these borders are man-made, right? Like my grandmother's family, who are Lebanese from the south of Lebanon, and my grandfather's family, who are Palestinian from the north of Palestine. Like, these two villages are like closer to each other than my place in London and your place. They're just a village. They're just a village across a mountain, there. You can actually, when I go, because we still go to that village, which is my mother's side of the family, you see Palestine on the other side. You look there, you see it. So, and the borders were made
cities
by people. So if you want, we're the same race. No,
excuse me, sorry to interrupt you, but I can give you a similar example. Like, you live in Pays Basque in Basque countries in southern France, and there is the Basque countries in northern Spain.
Yeah,
they feel
they're both the Basque countries.
Yeah, exactly. So the Basque people from Spain feel like they belong more to the Basque people from France. And the same,
but that's it. Like, what is people? It's the culture. It's the language. It's like Kurds. There are Kurds in Syria, in Iraq, and in Turkey, and they want Kurdistan because they have this shared connection. Can you tell them, like, no, you're not? Well, no, of course you can't, because they feel that way because of their shared. They have their own language. They have their shared ancestry, right?
Of course,
But Lebanon, even the accent of my family in Lebanon is closer to the accent of my family in Palestine than it is to Lebanese people in Beirut.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, that's how close it is. But so it's not different, because also race, like, it's the same race, like
Arab.
Yeah, like Arabs or like
Not
the
sure
Levantine people,
Levantine
right?
people, because Arab is different.
Yeah, I mean, that's another topic where but people love to debate Arab or not.
No, to be honest, it's not about this. It's about the race.
I mean, regardless,
that's
the race,
what I mean.
Though. I mean, the race is still
we are human anyway.
I mean, people discuss whether Arab is a race or is it like a language and is it a people? It's like, if someone speaks English, does that mean they're from England?
Yeah, no.
That's that. But
they're Arab speaker, yes.
Arab speaker,
yes.
Exactly.
I agree with that. North Africa and the Middle East are Arab speaker, but are they originally from Arabic Peninsula? I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That's kind of a debate in Lebanon as well. People always like to no, we're not Arabs. They like to say we're Phoenicians, which is, I mean, for me, I think it's weird. Like, what do you mean Phoenicians? Like, Phoenicians were there thousands of years ago. It's like an Egyptian telling you I'm a pharaoh.
Or Swedish guy saying I'm a Viking.
It's nice. It's nice to hear, but you want to be disconnected from Arabs. But it is a debate, right? And I met a guy from Libya. Who identifies. He also doesn't like to be called an Arab. He's like, call me North African. Don't call me an Arab, because it's,
Yeah. So I agree with you. It's true. It's a huge debate, and to be honest, it's gonna take.
There is a Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. Like, I've had this. It's a debate that doesn't have one answer, basically. It's a research topic, basically.
The other thing, the difference between North African people and people from the Levant, is North African people, for instance, Moroccan, or in some places in Algeria, they literally don't speak Arabic.
Yeah,
they speak a different language, so we can say they're Arabs. So
Tuareg, for example,
Tuareg or Kabyle or
I think it's become synonymous with being Muslim in a way. Because
that's another.
Because it's like
that's another problem.
It's another
right click, new tab.
That's open for another day.
The thing is, I agree with you as well. To go back to what you were saying, is it's true. everyone says, when they say Arab, they mean Muslim.
Well, it become a thing to say in the street in a way. It's you are an Arab, because, or you're a Muslim, you're an Arab. It's like automatically. I think
it is kind of.
It's funny the other day.
Synonymous.
I was actually checking the other day. There's more Muslims
non-Arab
around China, actually.
Indonesia.
Oh yeah,
China,
yeah.
and
Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country in the world.
Then there is in the Middle East.
It's not Arabic.
So the Middle East has fewer Muslims than that region in general.
Majority of Muslims are not Arabs.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
is very interesting.
And I think Malaysia maybe a bit.
Malaysia, Indonesia, some part of
all
China.
the countries. Yeah, China has a lot.
But you know what I think? Like it's and I think we've had like these types of talks like ever since I met Ali. Like we like to have. It's nice. Like that's something that comes from a Western perspective.
Yeah.
From Hollywood. From our industry,
the
way they spent years portraying Arabs, and it's like, like what are you talking about? Like, this is not Arabic. Or they hire someone to act like an Arab. I mean, I've seen Homeland, and I was hooked. Like I was, because it's a nice series, but it's like the worst series to watch if you want to learn about the Arabs.
Oh no, I know.
Because it's scaring you. Like someone would like go down and pray, and they start putting like scary music in the background because he's a Muslim praying. And like what? Why? You're forcing people to feel that. And Gad al-Maleh. He had this sketch where like in Hollywood, like you can be brushing your teeth and there will be music and then it make you cry. Like that's Hollywood, right? It can make you cry just he's brushing his teeth, but there's like sad music. So you force people's emotions and the politics and the wars and everything. So it's a Western perspective to make you feel that Arab is synonymous with Islam, but not necessarily, because you have Christian Arabs, you have Arab Jews, you have
non-believer,
you have atheism, you have
there's so many religions in that region. It's
I mean, all three religions come, like the main three religions.
That's the other thing.
What do you call them? The Abrahamic religions.
Yeah, exactly.
They all come from one place that is everyone is fighting for.
Yeah, the most famous man on earth is
I know him.
From Palestine.
Yeah, I know him.
Everyone forget about this.
Yeah.
Which is Jesus Christ, actually.
That's true. Actually, just going back to what I was saying, how different my experience growing up was to Ali, who was in the West, right? Like in a European country, coming from an Arab family. I was from an Arab family, living in an Arab country, or like, let's not say Arab, whatever. It's the same.
Yeah, it is.
They're neighbors. I'm only a neighbor.
In the constitution, Lebanon is an Arab country.
Exactly.
Period.
I look the same like Lebanese people. Like we look the same. We share the same type of genes. But I never felt that I'm different until papers came to existence. And what that means is like when you're 15 years old, you have to go do an official exam we call brevet.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have to go officially
same in France.
sit down and do an official exam, and that's where papers you need to take your ID. And then you realize that all your friends have like a nice small ID and you have like a big blue paper, and like why? You start asking questions you don't realize. And then you start learning about like the war. And in the 70s there was a war that somehow the Palestinian started the civil war, or at least that's like a perspective of the story. So that's how I felt different, is just like hearing a certain I grew up with, if you want, around people who don't necessarily like Palestinians.
Yeah,
no one knew that I was Palestinian. I was like this guy hiding my Palestinianness somehow. So no one knew. It just felt weird. Then I grew out of it. I went to university and I stopped caring, because you grow up and you feel what you want to feel. So
that's why I want to ask this question, because I know Palestinian growing up and living in Syria, apparently they have great experiences. Like it's like you being Syrian.
They were hated in Lebanon, especially because of the civil war.
Okay.
They were hated mostly by the Christian population more than the others, because the war was a sectarian war.
Yeah,
of course. It was Christians versus Muslims. As a big umbrella, if you want to simplify it.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. Like
of course.
But
No.
Like that's how it was. So, and we don't have like all the rights. Like you cannot work in anything that has a syndicate, right?
Yeah.
That means you cannot be a doctor, you cannot be a lawyer, you cannot be an architect. You have like 17 jobs that you cannot work in or something like that. I think I'm making up a number, but
yeah, I mean,
there's something.
But if someone asked you now, what are you? What do you say?
That's a good question.
You know what? It depends. I have the flexibility of. It depends on who's asking.
Yeah,
I usually
do the same.
Yeah, and now that I'm actually legally Lebanese, like I do say that I'm Lebanese because I feel like I'm Lebanese.
You lived
and I
all
love
your life
Lebanon,
there. I
and
don't
this is my
understand that. I
country.
still can't do this.
Yeah. This is the only country I've known.
Yeah,
actually, I've
I mean,
never been or known Palestine.
You can't. I'm not
also
even
I
sure you
love-
can go there to Palestine.
I can't.
Yeah,
go to
that's
Palestine.
yeah. I mean, here we go. It means
No. I'm not allowed to go, but I also love or respect that I have a Palestinian heritage.
Of
The thing
course.
that I was maybe ashamed of as a kid, you know, because you didn't want to say that you're Palestinian because you know that people don't necessarily like that. Yeah, I do feel proud of my heritage, but like, yeah, so that's why it depends. I'll be like, I'm a Palestinian Lebanese. Sometimes I just say I'm Lebanese.
Do you think? No, I'm asking too many questions. I guess.
No. Please.
Is it your podcast?
It's my podcast.
We are
Do you-
co-hosting.
Do you,
Yeah.
Three of us.
Okay.
Everyone is allowed to have.
do you actually think that the Western cultures are influencing you enough to, at some point, be someone else than Lebanese?
What do you mean?
Like if you spent like 20 years in London,
Yeah.
do you think you're gonna?
Is that a rhetoric question? Is that based on your experience of your family?
No, because I'm. It comes from like a I guess a feeling in me myself. So I'm trying to see if you have the same thing.
No, but he
I
did
see
not
the question.
experience anything.
No,
else
not
except
him,
Norway.
not him. Like his family.
No.
But
yeah.
I have like there is no clear belonging to a country anymore.
You can't.
No,
Even if you grew up, let me give you another example.
Yeah.
You are British from 100 generations, and you were born and grew up in here. With everything is going on in our life or lives, it's very hard to say I belong 100% to Britain.
That's exactly it. Like especially people that have lived in multiple countries throughout their life and they experience, because you know they say who they I don't know, but they say you are a product of your environment. You say whatever you live, you take something out of it, so you become something out of there.
Yeah, but you see that now. Look at people who are born in and grew up in Dubai, for example, that come from anywhere in the world, and they say like I'm from Dubai, but they're not Emiratis. They don't even have the Emirati passport, but they're from Dubai. They speak the international English. They don't even speak Arabic. I know a lot of people.
No.
But Dubai is their country, and it's like London. It's a hub a business hub and a cultural hub where people met from all over the world. And of course, as you said, time is changing. Like you travel, like within an hour, you'll be across in a totally different continent, basically.
Yeah, it's a shame we don't have supersonic flights anymore.
Well, they're working on it.
Yeah, let's see. I know the boom. You mean?
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah,
you saw the renders.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah,
you
did it.
Yeah, no, I didn't do it. Come on, I didn't do it. They're good renders.
You find them everywhere.
I love the Concorde. I'm a big fan of the Concorde.
Yeah. Really.
One of my regrets is I was too young.
Yeah, you were. What was the Concorde like? It's like 80s, no, or 90s?
No,
it stopped in the 90s.
No, it stopped in 2003.
Really?
But I'm not coming from a very wealthy family because the ticket of the Concorde is quite expensive. That's the first thing. And I stopped it at, I think the last British Airways flight was in 2003.
So, okay. So we have a common friend who's really into, if you're into planes and he's actually a 3D artist.
Yeah.
But he does planes for flight simulators for a living.
Oh, amazing.
And he knows every screw in what it does in a plane. He knows the manuals for the plane.
That's amazing. Yeah. I might ask for some advice because I'm still thinking of to pass my PPL, which is like a private license.
We'll connect you.
Yeah, thank you.
We got you.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
But yeah.
Let's talk about
our jobs.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit. We
felt like humans for a bit.
Yeah.
And now you bring us back to. No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
We love our jobs.
Yeah. We will go back to more human topics. So, why VFX? Why not painting or drawing or?
That's a very good question, actually. I come from a very technical background, so I think I've said this story many times, but the first...
Not to me.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe actually back here, like 3 years ago. You don't remember, man.
Not this podcast. When I say to me, I mean the podcast.
I see. Like when I was 5 years old, my dad gave me, like, we had a VHS player that was just broke one day. So he took out the dynamo inside the VHS.
Okay.
And he put like just like a paper on the dynamo, and he put a battery on it, and it was spinning.
Oh,
and I was 5 years old. I was like, this is magic, man. This is so cool.
That's amazing.
And it didn't take long. Well, he explained it to me that it came from the VHS, and I was like, oh my God, that's so... I mean, I was 5 years old, but he bought a new VHS player. What a mistake. So when he was out, I took it to my room and I opened it with a screwdriver and started to look at it from the inside.
Okay.
And that's
teach a man to fish.
That's when it started. Like, so I come from a very technical background, and my bachelor that I took was in like IT, computer science, and 3D graphics.
This was in Bournemouth?
No.
This
is
before
in Oslo, in Norway.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay, so you did the bachelor degree before coming to...
Yes, yeah. Okay, of course. Okay. I mean, you need that before taking a master's.
Okay, I did not know that you did the master's.
Oh, yeah, it's a master's.
In Bournemouth.
In Bournemouth, yeah. And I was very into everything electronic, everything computers, everything. So I was doing everything from fixing physical computers to making websites to programming to doing all of that. So that side it's part of me, like the technical side. And then I have another side of me which loves to make films and watch films and look at that.
By the way, you're a filmmaker as well. How many short movies have you done so far?
I have a few.
Yeah, how many?
I mean, I have one big one, and the other ones are just smaller films.
What's
short
films? Short one. They call them micro films, I think.
That's a new. I never heard of it.
Yeah, micro short. Something
really?
Like that. Yeah.
How long is it?
Up to 5 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah,
I heard about this. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But yeah. I'm working on more now, but yeah, hopefully it's gonna be more. Anyway, so.
But is there a platform? Can we see your no? Is there?
Yes,
can
you can see some of them. Actually, I have I think a couple on YouTube and maybe
public.
Yeah.
Okay. I during my time, you used to share with passwords.
Yes, I was.
Like, can we watch your short films? Like, yeah, this is the password. Go on Vimeo, watch my short film. Like, they were.
The quality in Vimeo is better, anyways.
Yeah. I have it on Vimeo too.
Okay.
So, but the reason is, I wasn't too happy with the result, and I guess that's something.
Yeah.
Every artist, I guess. Yeah.
You're never happy.
I really struggle with that all the time. Like, I really don't feel happy with the result, and I guess we all feel like that.
When you finish the project, you hate it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially move on.
Especially when you are you are the director, you are the editor. We are the one doing the grade. You're doing the VFX. You're doing like everything.
He was also the director of because we were together at university in the masters, and he was the director of our
your project
group. Yeah, of our masters project together.
Okay. Was he good?
He's okay.
Yeah, I dabble here and there.
We can cut this. Depends. It depends how much you pay me.
He laughed hard. £5? Isn't that your
No,
usual?
euros.
Oh, euros. Sorry.
You know why euros?
No.
In case Boris Johnson kick me out from the UK.
Yeah, you have the money for.
I can go back to France straight
for Europe.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I
don't have to wait. I don't want to waste time going and convert my money. I just want to go straight. I can convert to France, but
by now you would have like tons of €5.
Yeah. €5 is a very important.
And it's easy to multiply 5.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, 5 multiplied by 5. It's easy.
Easy. You're preparing your future, basically.
Trying to. I'm getting old, so yeah, I have
You're not old. You keep saying that. Yeah.
So, quick question about filmmaking.
Yeah.
How do you plan? Because we are coming from indie background. I did a little bit of indie filmmaking as well.
Yeah.
So, as you were said, you do a lot of things by yourself, or do you guys help each other when you know?
That was during the masters, but like the other stuff he's done before we met him, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I've done. Yeah, I've done some.
But you do everything, actually.
Well, I mean, depends on the part. Oh, well, for the biggest one I had like a crew of like 15 people or something.
That's a lot.
Well, it's mostly people you know and
Yeah,
people,
still.
yeah.
And you have to think about the food, if he's vegetarian or eat meat or whatever,
that was
allergic.
Stuff like that was
15
the
people is a lot.
biggest thing. It's manageable. It's that's where smart shorter films. That's the size of a usual short film. But I've done smaller. I've done just a couple of people here and there because sometimes you don't have the money to do that or the people to. If I did it here, I have a lot of people in my industry that can help me, but. Not everyone that works in the industry want to do that after work too,
True.
So, but back in Norway, I have like people that they work in everything else, and when you tell them, okay, let's make a film, they would say, let's do it.
That's a chance to do something else.
Exactly.
I think that's why Scandinavian movies now are getting better and better. I think this is one of the reasons actually. Because it's I love Scandinavian TV series. I mean, the quality is up there.
Which one have you seen?
I forget the name, but there is one. It's like a surgeon who is about to lose his wife.
I don't know many. I didn't know why I asked you.
No, I forget the name, but actually it's an amazing story. But I don't want to spoil it either.
Yeah, it's okay.
But long story short, I have to stop saying long story short again. So
that's the first time you say it
in the podcast, yes. But we had
outside of the podcast,
many times. So. He's a surgeon, and I think his wife is affected by like orphan disease, and he said she's dead, but she's not, and he kept her under like underground or something.
Oh, really?
And with the help of with a dealer, I love that story.
Where is it from?
It's Norwegian, I think.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to look up more on Norwegian.
There is a lot. I mean, I know a lot of Hollywood movies getting inspired from from Scandinavian film, like the girl with the dragon tattoo, for instance. It's a Swedish movie.
Yeah.
So Scandinavians are good in many things, not only movies.
Proficient.
I'm impressed, to be honest. Everything. It's social countries, the way how the countries are running.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean,
social democratic
countries.
Yeah,
yes,
it's difference.
It's different. Yeah. True. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me because I lived in Sweden 2 months in Stockholm. I mean, I think I was lucky because it was I think spring, so it was not too cold, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was
amazing.
It's very nice. Yeah, especially in the summer. I mean, Norway is. It's beautiful. It's really, it's a really beautiful country.
What I like about Norway, sorry to interrupt you, is they have a lot of oil, but they don't care about it. You know, it's like
they do care about it.
No, what I meant
that is the problem, though. That is the big debate lately.
No one cares about it now, though. Like
everyone cares about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the main.
No, look, you compare Saudi Arabia and Norway.
Yeah,
both have oil. Okay.
Yeah,
this is how I see it.
If it's like that, yes, then the well, I mean, in terms of society, maybe they have more rights. They have more.
It's not only rights. It's for sure.
Yeah, it's for sure. They have more rights. They have more freedom in general.
It's not only that. It's investing in the people. Well, that's the difference for me when I see Middle Eastern countries, even if they have a lot of money. Sometimes you feel like. I'm sorry to say this, like a dealer having a lot of money doesn't have necessarily taste. If you go to see...
The difference is it's the monarchy there is the main people to run the country in Saudi, for example.
Yeah, for instance.
While in Norway, the monarchy, they are just they
like
just...
in the UK,
Yeah, they're just like people to look at and clap to here and
tourist attraction, more or less.
Exactly.
Sorry, maybe I'm
no, I mean it's
reality.
It's reality, and the country is run by hard politics and democracy in general.
Yeah.
And that's a difference. That's the main difference.
That's true, but again, they invest a lot in the people.
They invest.
Meaning education.
It's true. Of course they do. Yeah,
that's the thing.
I mean, I can't say anything else because I think
You're a product.
I'm a product.
Yeah. I mean,
unless I say
amazing,
I'm real.
amazing product.
I'm always
they make
thankful.
good people there. Amazing product.
Stamp is in the neck.
Yeah.
Careful.
Yeah.
No, I'm forever thankful for everything there. But there's in any system there's always improvements. There's always a system.
Of course.
There's always some critique to have. Like the big, one of the big talks in Norway is the oil money, because the oil is bringing so much pollution to the world, while Norway is very upfront and a very strict about everything green, everything environmental, and they're trying to be like an example for the world in a way.
Rany, why VFX?
Me. Why VFX? I mean, I've always liked like cartoons. Actually, I was really into like cartoons and like anime and manga when I was a kid. I never thought that I wanted to work in visual effects. I've always liked the films. I've always felt that I like everything that transforms. So, not Transformers necessarily, but like there's.
I like Transformers. Sorry.
Like stuff that transform, but not necessarily Transformers, but also Transformers.
Do you like people that transforms? No?
Yeah, no, because like there was this cartoon. Japanese called Saint Seiya. Chevalier du Zodiac.
So I
used to watch it as a kid. Me and my brother were obsessed, and the people, they wear armors because it's like a mix of mythology and astrology and Greek mythology and the constellations and all that. And if you're like the
Pegasus,
Pegasus. But there's also like the gold, right? The
Chevalier d'Or. Chevalier d'Or.
And then these people, they're like the
Chevalier de Bronze,
the astrological signs. So if you're like the Lion or the Cancer or the Gemini or all these signs. Sorry?
That's the characters.
Yeah, so these are the highest ranked characters. The bronze ones are the constellations. Pegasus, Andromeda, Sirius, like the real constellations that we all know. And you're reincarnated in it. It's a complex story, and it's still like one of the most sold Japanese manga and anime. But what I didn't realize when I grew up slightly older, I started reading the mangas, and at the end of the books, the artist, the guy who makes them, he's called Masami Kurumada. He actually draws how each armor, it looks like a lion, and then when you want to wear the armor, he draws the engineering of it, how each part fits on someone. And in the animation, you see it like explode, and then you would turn, and then it would come. So that's what I meant, transform. And I was always fascinated by that. And years later, I did a project at uni, recreation of that with a friend.
Was it in Lebanon or here?
No, that's in Lebanon.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've always liked that. I never imagined me working in stuff like that. And then when I wanted to go to uni, because I think at home I was always the technology guy. I was always behind a computer. Even I used to play music, but I used to like write notes on a software, software called Guitar Pro. So like,
fancy.
I used to play guitar, but like I used to spend more time writing music on a computer. Like that's how nerdy I was, you know.
Wow.
That's one of the first thing he did in Houdini was to play with a
MIDI controller, like connect MIDI to chops and then like affect like in real time.
That's a good idea for an NFT. Looks like.
Yeah. So yeah, like I've always been into computers, and I wanted to, because people tell like I wanted to be a computer engineer, even though I wasn't that good with like the mathematical stuff. I was okay, but like I wasn't like that good. But then you know, when they do the orientation, like at the university, at school.
At 15, 16. Oh, no.
No, last year. For us last year.
Like, you mean secondary school.
Yeah. There's like this program they told us about was like you study computer science with the concentration in graphics, and you work in like visual effects for films. And when I heard that, it's like, that's what I want. Like, I want to do that from the beginning. So after that, I studied for 4 years, and I ended up like knowing how to create a cube in 3ds Max, and you know, clone stamp tool in Photoshop, and Hello World in C++. Like after 4 years of uni, I really did not learn much at uni, but yeah.
The funny thing, you worked for a while after that, no, in Lebanon?
Yeah, so I worked because I still wanted to do this, even though I felt like I don't have the skills, but no one else had the skills around you. Like very few people. There's no industry necessarily. So you learn on the job, YouTube, like everyone. Like I didn't feel like university taught me much. But yeah, I actually remember that one of the first things that made me really want to go into visual effects was not a film. It was an ad for the Doha Asian Games in 2006.
Okay.
There was an ad on TV, where the torch relay going like around Asian countries, and there's this guy, you know, like Asian guy running, jumping, and then turning into a dragon, then going to India, and then like morphing into a tiger, and then and they're always passing the torch, and then going into like the Middle East and turning into an eagle because of like desert eagles and stuff. And I actually, that's 2006, and I looked it up not long ago because I mentioned it to someone. It's like in 240p resolution on YouTube. It's still there. And it doesn't look that good now. But like that's like what I really remember that, you know, it wasn't a film. I remember that movie.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
Because for me it was a film. What was the reason
that got me to VFX?
Or one of the reasons.
Well, I mean, I said some of that earlier, that I was interested in tech and I was interested in film, and that was like VFX is like the combination of both in one world. But I am a big fan of Lord of the Rings, which is from 2001. But I didn't see it that early. I saw it a few years after, but that was my first entry to. I really want to, you know.
Are you a big fan of Lord of the Rings?
Big fan.
Wow.
Like one of those people that would go overnight, watch like the whole uncut.
Binge watch, like.
Not binge watch. Go to marathons, like in like cinemas. Go watch like. What was the one you did? Like you start at like 10 p.m. and you end in the morning.
My goodness,
I
the uncut 3 films, but
wow.
like uncut.
Yeah, it's they are amazing films. It's just like it's not only the you know the craft of the film. It's also like the story is very deeply. It feels personal and nostalgic in a way because that's what got you into your interest and everything. Anyway, so that was one of the introductions to that. But what got me to... so I started doing 3D stuff in like around 2007, 2008 as like first entry to CG. And then Avatar came out in 2009. Yeah. And I saw that in the cinema, and I was like, "Man, I really want to do this." And like right after, I like drove full time into that. Yeah, and just a couple of years after that, I was doing some freelance stuff here and there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
but it was for you. It was a movie. For you, it was an advert.
No, it was obviously it was all the movies. Like,
yeah,
like I always I obviously I loved Lord of the Rings, and I felt
no, but the reason why you said okay.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
If you were gonna ask me like what is the one thing that you know like inspired you to want to work in this, for some reason I really remember that ad strongly. Just because it has all these effects, like the morphing effects and the flying and the from a person to an animal and all that. Obviously I loved all the movies as well, like the Spider-Man when we were kids, you know? Like
just playing around with software, man. It's so interesting, especially when you're so into computers. It's like just like downloading stuff and you have a 3D world to play with.
Yeah, true.
It's so.
But how your parents coped with that? Were they okay with this or?
Yeah, devastated.
I mean, it's kind of a fair question, cope, because obviously when you come from like you know, well, Lebanon, like the Middle East, like they expect you. Especially if you have like good grades, like are you going to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer? Yeah. That's it.
One of them.
But actually,
no one will marry you if not either of these.
How will you go into society? But also, it's pride for the family. Yeah. Ibn Hakim.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
But so true. But my parents were actually very.
I still don't get it, but I totally see what you're saying. But
like my parents were actually very supportive. My dad gave us a really good life, honestly, like especially as a man who grew up in a refugee camp, right? Like, because my dad is the son of Palestinian refugees, and he was working in a garage repairing cars with like older people since he was 12. Like he worked hard to get a proper life, and we grew up not needing anything. We grew up in a very, very middle class, you know, respectable. We didn't need much. So they didn't tell me do this or do that. They didn't really honestly understand what I do, especially when they want to tell people. My mom used to tell people, even after I graduated, it's like, engineer, computer engineer.
Same here.
But one time I worked on like a music video clip for a famous Lebanese singer. She's called Najwa Karam.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah,
That's
like
a big one.
something
She's
like
a good one,
like
yeah.
dancing on the clouds. Not even simulated clouds, just like stick After Effects PNGs and move her and like transform like.
That's why I did not like it.
Silly production, yeah. But still,
Joking.
I had
I
my
did
name
not
at the
see it.
end.
Yeah.
I had my name at the end. It's like graphics.
I think he showed me.
My name, and then obviously like, oh, my son, this is what he does, and then now you can tell the whole world. You can tell the neighbors like, this is what my son does. Before that, but it's absurd. How can you tell what someone like? How can you tell someone from another generation what computer graphics is? Right?
Yeah,
like
it's
it wasn't
very hard.
easy to explain that I do graphics
yeah.
on the computer, but what is that? And then you have to show them, like, you know, when you watch the news and there's like the whole world that goes around, or like the everything you see that is not real. That is what I do.
Yeah.
It's
easier to explain nowadays because we are
yeah, exactly. You
submerged.
live in it. You live in
Yeah,
it. But like,
exactly.
I'm not that young. I mean, I went to uni from 2007, 2010, like bachelor's.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I worked for 6-7 years in Lebanon doing random stuff. You know, real time VR games, ArcViz, video clips, like 2D compositing, Roto, whatever. In Lebanon, they come with like a Pixar movie. They're like, hey, I want this. And you'd be like, no, you're not going to get this. I'll do something else for you. But they always want a generalist that does everything because there's no one. Yeah. And then
a lot of people doesn't understand the industry anyways.
Yeah. And they tell you like, I want an animation. You'd be like, where are you going to play it? Like, is it going to be played on like the TV? Because back then we used to use PAL.
Yeah.
So you want to play it. You want to send it as an ad to TV. There was no HD TVs then.
Yeah.
Or you want to play it on YouTube. I can make it like HD ready. What was it? HD like
full HD.
1280. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
HD.
Yeah.
HD.
Yeah. Do you want it like HD? And they're like, what's that? Like, how long do you want it? Because render time. Like, it's like, make it. I don't know, for 5 minutes. It's like, no, can't render for 5 minutes. Like, you had to deal with that, which obviously everyone had to. Today it's easier, but like after all this time I felt sick of working in that environment, and I felt like even though I know a lot and I've been doing so much, but I didn't feel like I'm improving anything, and I didn't feel like I'm working with people that understand or compliment me. And that's when I decided that I wanted to come to study in the UK and like study visual effects, even though I was 30 then.
That's a courageous move.
It's a bit funny because both of us have experience in this industry before taking the masters.
Why did you have to take the masters? Because I know a lot of people. I'm just asking because I know a lot of people who are in this industry without anything, without doing any university.
For me personally, it's one of the few ways to be able to leave Lebanon.
Okay.
Like you can't apply for a job and get a job if you're from Lebanon with a bachelor's degree from Lebanon. Also, I don't have experience in the industry, so no one will hire you. So one of the few.
So your
ways,
showreel won't be enough.
Yeah, it's also not just the showreel. It's the degree helps me get a visa.
Yeah, makes sense.
So it's easier to get a visa to come and study. And then you hope that doors will open for you after you study, which apparently they did. I'm here.
It took its time.
It took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
It took
but
its
like
time.
So you studied in London?
So no, Bournemouth.
South
England.
UK.
So I came and studied. I was on a scholarship, which was amazing. So I didn't pay because it's actually really expensive.
Yeah, it's super expensive. Yeah.
But then I had to go back to Lebanon again for 2 years.
Why is that?
Well, part of the scholarship rules is that the point is to study in England and come back and benefit your country.
Oh, yeah.
Improve like the quality of whatever you're studying back in your country. But also... But also, even with that, I still tried. I applied to many companies in England because I still wanted to leave. Like I came and studied. I smelled what it could be like. I met all these amazing people like Ali, and I made so many friends that are also passionate about visual effects. We learned Houdini together. You saw the potential, and then I went back, didn't have much to do there. Some freelance. No one. Yeah, and then I was a teacher for a year because I just wanted to work. I wanted.
This wasn't Dundee, right?
No. That was in Lebanon while I was like trying. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever come back.
So when was that? Was it? So when the catastrophe happened, you were in Lebanon.
The explosion. I was in Beirut. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I was with my dog. That was actually a month before I came to Scotland. So that was 2020 August 4. That was the explosion. I left in September. I came to Scotland. I already had I already knew that I got a job in Scotland, so I already knew that I was leaving. But that was like maybe the last salt and pepper on my like. I really need to leave.
You weren't too far either, no?
No, I wasn't. Like my whole house shattered, exploded.
Wow.
We took my dog to the hospital. I was okay, but like she got shattered with glass and her tendon. We had to do a surgery for her, and yeah, I had friends who were deeply affected. They had a friend who was in a coma and stuff. It was, I mean, definitely the worst thing that I've ever experienced. Like, safe to say. I mean, you've all seen the videos, and I couldn't believe when I saw the video.
That's unbelievable.
This is what we just experienced, and I wasn't that close. I was in Beirut. The house glass shattered. But there was people. There was my friend who was a drummer in my old band. He lives right next to the port.
Wow!
And all the glass shattered on him, and he fainted, and he couldn't remember anything actually for a while. He was deeply affected.
Oh wow!
But he's good now.
Yeah, that's a good news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you leave all of this, it's already not easy to live in Lebanon as a visual effects artist or a CG artist because the industry is not there yet, and people might not understand what you are doing. I mean, people close to you don't even understand what you are doing. So at some point, I said, okay, I need to leave. You have no other.
Not
choice.
just as a visual effects artist, just as a human. Honestly, it's hard, and even before the explosion. It's been tough. It's not a stable country. It's like all.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It's a love-hate relationship with the country, like a lot of countries.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
We love it. We love the food. We love the people. We love the nature. We just love it so much, but we can't live in it. And now with the economical crisis, and after the explosion, and the political instability, and the inflation, I don't have friends in Lebanon anymore. They're scattered all over the world. I just have like my parents, my siblings who are also trying to leave.
Everyone's trying to escape.
You did great actually. You're at MPC now, which is amazing.
Yeah, which I wasn't when we first talked, and exactly. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly because I've always wanted to work for the industry, right?
Yeah.
And even though I've been working, well, now it's almost been like 9 or 10 years working in 3D.
Yeah.
This is my first actual industry job.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Everything else was research in Dundee, teaching, small studios here and there. This is my first like proper industry job, and
do you like it so far?
I'm loving it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, especially moving to London.
True. You were in the
like moving to the city first, meeting a lot of people after a long dark pandemic.
Yeah, true.
And have friends at the company. It's really nice, like to, and everyone's super friendly and nice, man. That's good. You have. I've applied to MPC 4 times in the last like 3 years. like maybe it's silly, but like. It feels like okay, got it. Like it's done now.
No, that's a good thing.
I can do something else now.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm joking. I want to
don't leave.
I want to stay.
Don't do that.
He's like go reach.
He's not going anywhere.
Please don't leave.
No, it's really nice and like people are friendly. You get to meet people from everywhere. It's super international. You get to meet people like you.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately, man.
I'm loving it. It's only been since November. It's only been 3 months now.
That's great.
It's already really intense. Like so much work.
That's good for the future. I mean, the fact that there is work, that's good for us for the future. That's a good thing. That's a good news.
No, I like it, and it's just happened so quickly. Actually, like like. There's a lot of work in the industry, and they ask
at the moment.
They ask employees to recommend people, and like if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here because like he was amazing. Like, hey, I know a guy who's looking for a job here, so he recommended me. And actually, you know how I've applied 4 times to the company, But this is the only time that I didn't apply.
Yeah.
They were like, "Are you interested in an interview?" It's like, "What? Yes, of course."
What a question.
Yeah, I was like, I had like a visa for 2 years there. I just like, I was like, yeah, of course, if I'm getting a job in London, I'm gonna come. Whatever it is, I'm gonna come. And
so you're a Houdini specialist, but why Tech Anim? Why not FX?
Houdini is Rany is a like a
computer,
like a computer thing. Like it can be anywhere. He's actually, for me, he's more like an environment guy than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I learned Houdini like at uni, and I've worked in Houdini, but like also for the past year in research when I was working at the University of Dundee, we were doing like stuff for the environment in Iceland, like how the ice caps were melting, and we're doing some like facial reconstructions, and I was using Blender. So because it was the project was supposed to be open source. And I have already, remember I told you I was teaching a year before in Lebanon, and the pandemic happened. So I taught these 14, 15-year-old kids how to use Blender because it was free and easy. So I learned it to teach them, and I loved it. There was just no chance for me to necessarily like work for Houdini. Like I'm not getting freelance work, but I need to work, and it's just happened. And after that, actually, because of that and the pandemic, like I started putting, I made like a competition to teach a course online, and now I have a course online. So you can say I'm an online teacher as well.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You could say it. Like
where can we find
Skillshare?
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
It happened by mistake, but it was the pandemic. I guess a lot of people wanted to learn 3D because when people, it's like 1st of January, like everyone's like, now I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna learn a new skill. Yeah. And apparently, like the course was doing really well.
That's great.
Because Blender also became really good the last 3 years. Like Apple, Facebook, everyone is putting money into the Blender Foundation. The software is becoming better and better, and everyone is.
Yeah, they improved it a lot.
Is getting on the train of 3D, and it's
but also
free.
You're very good at teaching, though. That's a good thing. Though.
That's
that helps a lot.
I'll ask you to teach me Blender.
Really, I'll send you the link.
No,
that's good. You think I'm gonna do a live teaching for you when I have a beginner's tutorial online?
No.
That's okay. I'll give you a free. I'll give you a free link. Don't
worry.
I
don't need the free.
You speak with my AI. Automated robots will teach you. Don't
automated
worry.
Rany.
Yeah. But it's cool. But then they were like, when I had the interview, they're like, well, it's gonna be Houdini. I was like, yeah, I know Houdini, even though I haven't used Houdini in 2 years. But like, I was like, I'll do it.
I mean, to speak for you're too humble. He's very quick at learning. It's like it doesn't take him long to like know a software.
But you know Houdini. You know Houdini. I met
a bit.
I met someone. No, like you know how complex the software is. That's what I mean.
No,
like you can't. Obviously, I get by, and I think I'm doing okay. And I mean, obviously, like it can only go better from here, right?
Yeah. No, what I meant is because I'm coming from XSI and Maya. I'm old, so I'm coming from XSI and Maya background. So for me, switching to Houdini was tough.
Well, everyone switching to Houdini was tough.
I used 3ds Max for a long while and Cinema 4D for like 8 years or something.
Yeah, I started with 3ds Max.
So I can't use that software.
Yeah,
have you tried it though?
I tried it. Yes.
It's basically but you know what it is? It's the first software you try is like your baby. Like I still love 3D Max,
of course,
just for reminiscence. Like even though I know it
doesn't make any sense.
I started with
it
Cinema
doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it makes more sense than Maya. At least it has like a stack of modifiers.
I'm not sure about
this. At least it does something a bit procedural.
FX wise, I'm not sure.
Particle flow. Come on, particle flow.
Maya Particles is amazing.
Okay, I never used Maya.
Maya Particles is amazing.
I actually used Maya to export Alembic. I used Maya to export Alembic files.
Everyone is using Maya as a bridge now.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know what? When I got this like research job,
because Autodesk are doing very bad job with it.
Yeah, but they were like, you're gonna need to use Maya, and that's after I learned 3D Max, Houdini, and Blender. And they're like, you need to use Maya, and in my head I was like, I don't want to do another 3D software. But lucky me, when I arrived, they're like, did you say you also use Blender? I was like, yes. They're like, we're gonna put you on this open source project, so I didn't have to learn Maya. And now I came back to Houdini, which is the best software in the world. Just like
I'm not sure about this, but I mean, it's not about. To be honest, it doesn't matter. It's a tool, anyways. Houdini today in 10 years is gonna be another one.
It's true.
But what I meant is, well, Houdini is great software. Don't get me wrong.
Some friends will disagree with you. They're Houdini evangelists. Like, have you met Houdini?
Like Maya Evangelist or
Our
whatever.
Lord and Savior Houdini. Side effects Houdini.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Houdini is a great tool. Don't get me wrong. But still, I mean, when I remember that back on the days, I mean, with Maya Fluid, for instance, it's true it was tricky, but you were able to do amazing stuff with a lot of scripting and things.
Of course.
Like every other software. I mean, if you take Blender and you put the right people around it, I'm sure you can do amazing things. It's all about the perspective time. But the thing is with Houdini, is the community is big.
Yeah, and
bigger.
I think sorry for interrupting, but I think the sudden increase in work in the industry, it wouldn't have been so easy without Houdini, because it's like so much work is automated and so much setups are made to give to more junior artists. If it was just Maya, then it would be a lot more difficult.
I'm not sure, because in previous shows, I can't tell because this is confidential, but in previous shows, big movies where we had Maya and Houdini, it worked pretty well because the Maya was well integrated to the pipeline.
But that was not Maya out of the box.
Here we go.
That's another Maya written.
That's true.
A lot of proprietary like plugins and software making Maya better.
Yeah.
Because it has Mel and it's
exactly.
Yeah. It's expandable.
That's true. That's totally true and totally agree with you.
Out of the box is procedural.
That's true. I agree, but that's what in my opinion, that's what we are lacking in nowadays, because Houdini is so powerful. We don't have that proprietary tools that we used to have in other softwares.
Okay.
Which I think is powerful as well, because this could help push you to other levels.
I think it's very it's easier now to do that than ever, but there's not more spending on that.
That's what I mean.
Before.
That's exactly.
Yeah, you can see some of the. I mean, MPC is a massive and old company, but. For example, Weta, they use Houdini extensively, and they have their own
recently,
and they're selling them, no?
Yeah, and they're
selling their Maya tools.
I know,
and their Houdini tools.
But they started using Houdini recently, like 3-4 years ago.
In
Weta.
In Weta.
Yeah, recently, like maximum 5 years ago, because they had their own tools.
For Avatar in 2008, 2009.
No.
You sure?
No. They have. I don't think so. Okay. No. Maybe then a bit for some shots, but I don't think they'd use it for entire movie.
Did you know Mudbox?
Of course,
the sculpting.
It was created in Weta.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It was created for Gollum.
For
Smeagol. Like it was invented to
for
sculpt him.
Mari was invented for. That's the thing. I mean, it's a need who created the software.
Mari was invented for.
You didn't finish. Maya, no, it's not Maya. It's Mari.
Yeah, Mari was invented.
Yeah, it was invented for. Mari was invented for Avatar as well, for texturing.
Avatar.
Yeah, okay. Same thing.
For the Banshees, the flying.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. So
for like
animated
when they were using like.
They were using like 148 gigabyte of pixels. Sorry, 148.
What are they called?
Oh, PTEX.
PTEX. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they use that.
Yeah, I think I think that's where they made PTEX or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
But because like no other software could handle that much, I guess, before that. So they had to write it.
I'm not sure, but I remember reading that they were doing like texture sizes of like 148 megapixels in size. Which is like you could go so close to the animal and you can see the detail.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
and then they sell it, and then it becomes an industry standard software.
That's what changed actually. Before it was a need created a software or a tool,
right?
Which is not the case now. Now
you have all the tools, all the software, and you just have like a lot of random stuff coming out because you can.
For instance, water in Houdini. As it is, out of the box, you need a lot of work to make it work properly, which is great for us. If you are a water specialist, it's good for you. But at the same time, there is a lot of things that, for instance, inside the company that you can build around it. Because again, Flip is great, but it might not be the only solution to do water.
For sure.
Because I use Flowline, for instance, either at Scanline or no, even at MPC. We had it at
before when they were renting it.
for like quite some time. It's an amazing. I think, in my opinion, it's one of the best water solver on the planet. It's just unbelievable. But the thing is,
I do agree with you that there needs more research time.
There
in
is.
terms of
that's what companies nowadays they don't allocate either time or
they
money.
need to budget for
Yes,
that.
I think they have to, because in the long run, if they want to make it even bigger and think about, I don't know, the next 5 to 10 years, they have to think about it. And we know how time consuming is to do water.
Yeah,
we did a lot of water with Ali.
We've done. Yeah,
we know that it's not something as easy as, it's not easy. First is we need like someone very experienced with it, and the second is sometimes, for instance, in episodic or commercial, you don't have as much time as film to do things.
It's like fast running. Like
And for water, you like it or not,
simulation is simulation.
You need a lot of iterations. And I know Weta, for instance, at some point they do like someone told me you can do 3 iterations of water a day, which is impossible in most of the companies. I mean, I know in some companies sometimes you can do 1 iteration a week.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's the difference. So it's either you have the power.
Have you seen?
So
have you seen
allocate more render farms?
Not necessarily.
It's not about that. It's
no.
Have you seen the latest papers about water from Weta?
No, I did not.
But there's a few research papers.
I should have a look.
And they are using a lot of post-processing techniques to upscale the quality of the water. It's a cheaper way to do that, but the water looks super nice.
Is it machine learning?
I don't think so, actually. I think it's just like hard code, not hard code. It's like program, like written down to just upscale the mesh using the curves of the motion of the dynamics and stuff like that. So I think they sim in lower resolutions. I'm just speculating here. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they apply these techniques, but as far as I know, they have their own R&D department. They can do.
Yeah, that's what I think in most companies that's what we're missing. There is R&Ds in every company, but they're not necessarily allocated.
It's not like a separate department. Like, for example, Pixar they have their own.
Yeah, but Pixar and Disney has like their Disney research.
Yeah, exactly. They have their own like
Zurich,
research
in Switzerland, like
to come up with like newer techniques to speed up their production and make things easier.
We have
every tool you use, like USD, was invented because of research project. Every Alembic, all these containers, and every tool remember I told you about this tool that retopologizes into quads. There was like
there's so many of them now,
but no, there's so many of them, but they're all actually the same code. They're all that tool. Houdini has the node. What was it called again?
Quick remesher or something.
I forgot what it's called. Remesh, like it's the quad remesher where you just enforce the tools. And then 3D Max, last year maybe, they were like, everyone was so excited. It's like, oh, 3D Max, amazing. This version has this amazing like remesher, the new quad remesher. And turns out it's exactly the same open source research project that anyone can implement. And then Houdini has a node in the game tools. In the labs. I forgot what it's called now. Instant meshes. Instant meshes.
Isn't that based on VDBs?
No, instant meshes is just like a code written by a research lab in Zurich that everyone used to use.
I think it triangulates the geometry. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it quadify. It makes everything quads, but you have to enforce. Like you can say like I want them to go that way, and it tries to give you a very clean quad mesh. That's basically like for games they use it a lot because if you have a high poly mesh, instead of retopologizing, like retopologizing, like modelers probably like have spent half their lives retopo after sculpts and stuff, so that makes it so much easier because remeshers usually don't work that well if you want them to be clean quads. But yeah, like it always starts with like somewhere a research, then it becomes a tool in your software.
Still important in my opinion. I mean that's the problem now because Houdini is so powerful. That's why I'm not against Houdini. Of course I like Houdini. But
you can't be against Houdini. You make a lot of people sad.
Sorry to make some people sad. But what I meant is, I still think, as we used to have another software, sorry, that powerful R&D behind you, because that's what makes the difference between one company and the other, because in my opinion, because
I don't agree actually. You're saying like we should go for a worse software but invest more in R&D.
No, that one, sorry, I did not explain very well, excuse me. No, that's what I meant is we should keep Houdini, of course,
but invest more in
Houdini,
but
in R&D, meaning, okay, for instance, if we're gonna do particles and we know that we do the same thing every time in every show, why doing it again? Why not having something?
100% agree with you.
A tool that, okay, maybe someone outside the company might take some time to learn it, but at least it's gonna be faster to iterate shots. Or
well, that's the cool thing about Houdini. It's
so
like when you make a tool inside Houdini, it follows the same kind of UI and everything.
Yeah, so I agree. But the thing is, from one show to another, you have to readapt the tool and you have to update the tool.
Weren't we talking about this on the way here? Like you just need to make the tools. Exactly. You want what you guys used to do in Maya.
Yeah,
you want to do that in Houdini, which is more of a management issue than a software issue. Not management, I mean like more than a people's issue. Like people need to decide to make these tools and to reuse them and make OTLs.
No, I agree, but the thing is, it's not, again, that's again we're talking about the industry as a whole, because Houdini is so powerful and out of the box sometimes, okay, let's do particles, pop or whatever. It's so quick. So you say, okay, I'm not gonna do this. So that's what I think we need to decide as, I mean, if we're gonna use, we are using Houdini quite a lot, and we're gonna use it even more in the future. In my opinion, to focus more on the artistic side, I think it's better if we let people manage the technical side for the people who are like very good technically. So we focus mainly on the artistic side. So, for instance, for some departments or some like episodic or series or commercial, because of lack of time and money, you could raise the bar even higher by canceling or destroying those small bits that make you like not necessarily go higher in quality. That's the reason actually.
I see what you mean.
I also think there has to be a balance between, but to start somewhere, to see the benefit.
Yeah, true. I agree.
To see the benefit
as a
of the product,
so
you have to kind of force it on yourself, like not force it, but like try to get the artist to do that. And maybe if production says, okay, is this shot done? Or you'd say like, I need one more day to finish the shot, but you actually use that one day to make the tool. So you save yourself like a few months later to use that tool again. So in the beginning, to understand the for production to understand the result,
of course,
you have to provide a product.
No,
I think so. We have to, I guess, we have to do a bit from our side.
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, of course, I mean you can't talk until tomorrow, but if you don't show something, people will get stuck. I will give you another example about this. Miller, the director of Fury Road, Mad Max. He doesn't write. He do storyboards. So he
doesn't write scripts.
Doesn't write scripts. He hires storyboard artists and they
makes it from
So actually for Fury Road he did 1,500 shots storyboarded. His storyboarded 1,500 shots, which is amazing.
Wow.
So this is how we convinced.
That was such a good film.
It's a good film.
And it's super visual. You can feel it. Everything was not written, but drawn. I mean, like exactly almost as you see it in the movie. So the reason why I'm bringing this is his favorite DOP retired. I mean, he stopped working in films, and this is how he convinced him to go back working in movies by showing him the storyboards.
No one has time to read the script.
That's an amazing thing for a cinematographer to just like see
he saw the movie.
A palette of.
It was a big room with full of boards everywhere.
Is that available anywhere?
It's on YouTube.
Really, the storyboards.
The storyboards,
you
can see some of it, and it's amazing.
The film, man, the colors, the mood,
it's very
the characters.
Actually, that's
the dystopia.
So it's the contrast. So he wanted the contrast in the desert. And actually, I met the scout locator, and he was explaining to me how actually Miller wanted to have a contrast between the deserts, so he had like a Australian desert, and in Africa he shot in the Namibian desert. It's a desert, but it's not the same. Namibia have the oldest desert on planet Earth, for instance.
Really?
And the color and the texture is different. And anyways, so it's the same. It's the contrast of a same environment or similar environment. He's going to too much. He's going to.
Of course, and it's the future, but it looks old at the same time.
Yeah,
like it looks broken and and a bit primitive, but it's actually the future. And they have all these like machine and like the. Like the retro punk type of machinery.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And
I love this. I mean,
I need to rewatch that film.
Yeah, me too.
That's true.
I forgot it existed.
Yeah.
for a second there. Yeah.
Ali, I have a question. As you are lead FX at MPC now.
Yes.
So what do you need from an artist working with you in a show? What is required from him?
Well, it depends on the level we're talking about, because
let's start with the junior artist, someone coming out from school.
A junior artist, this is a very. I don't actually think there's a good answer for that, because we should have a palette for an artist to start early with passion. I think anyone can learn the software.
Of course.
As a junior, like a general junior artist, you should be able to run setups that we have in the system. Like when you make a setup in Houdini from a senior artist or from a lead, the junior artist should at least be able to get that out, to run it and get it out. That's, I guess, the least you can expect from
basic computer skills.
Basic computer skills. Well, unfortunately, not at MPC, but I've seen other places that they've hired junior artists and they don't even know like where the manual or auto button in Houdini is. Yeah. And that's a bit difficult. You need
practice a bit.
You need at least to understand the basics of the software.
Well, at least the software that the company is using. In this case, it's Houdini.
Yes, but there's many companies again that use their own softwares.
And you learn the software on the job a lot of the time.
You need, in my opinion, you need someone as a VFX artist. You should be a problem solver more than anything else.
Yeah,
you should be able to solve a problem. So if the problem is to make a composition with the, well, you're never going to make a composition because you get it from like a match moved camera or something like that. But if the problem is to, let's say, make an effect, like make a certain type of visual thing, then you should be able to find a solution for that problem. Break down the problem and how do I go about finding a solution for the problem, and try to solve it at least. If you can't solve it on your own, you have to at least be able to look for a solution somewhere.
Power of Google.
The power of Google.
Yeah, you realize that like some people, even though Google is available all the time, but like
they can't use it.
Not they can't use it. They know how to use it, but not everyone knows the right keywords. Or you learn to become a better.
That is true.
Researcher. I'm not really researcher, but like just like use the right keywords to get because. Yeah. The answers are, most of the time you'll get people asking a similar question, or you'll find your way. But like, I think that's really important. To be able
to find a solution and actually have a problem solver mind is, I think,
it's key.
The right answer to that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But knowing a software or I don't think that's a requirement, to be honest. In my opinion, I'm not a recruiter at MPC, although I'm recommending a lot of people, but I'm not a recruiter.
Some of them are just right in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a recruiter, you should also be able to see the strong sides of an artist. What is the artist doing? Sometimes you have an excellent visual artist. He's very good with making something look good. But he's not technical at all. Yeah. And I know a lot of these people. So you don't, when you see someone like that, you can't think, I'll put him on making Houdini OTLs or something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you're going to break him down. It's not going to happen.
He has a you should know which department
exactly.
you should put him in.
But that's where your job comes in as a recruiter or head of department. You have to know where to put a person, and a visual artist, as someone who knows and understands the visual parts of the pipeline, should be able to be just an artist without having to worry about too much about the technical stuff. And I think we should look into that too. Not only the people, the super technical people, but I know realistically we expect some technicality from everyone, even the DMPs, for example, which is like the most artistic people, I guess, in the company. They still have to
painters.
know. Yeah, they are painters.
Yeah,
they still have to know some technicalities, some software. Some of them actually know 3D too. You know.
Yeah,
they have to know 3D too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna project a map. So
exactly. Yeah.
Better know how.
So they know Houdini.
Yeah.
They know Nuke. They know. And that's a lot for
it's the nature of the industry as well.
Yeah,
it is.
If you just want to be a painter, you know, you can be a painter, but like I guess.
No, but I mean,
I know what you mean.
As an example, we know people, without saying names, that come from like super artistic backgrounds, and they had like a year to learn the software, and they did it like they are seniors now. They are leads. Yeah. They have the artistic mind, but they don't know the tool. What do you do? You give them the space to learn, especially in times like this where we need people more than anything. There's more need. There's more than need for people now than there has ever been, I think, in the industry.
That is recruiting.
do you want a job?
I think I'm good.
We should utilize every asset there is, or not use them, but utilize them as much as possible. You know, wherever there is a mind for art or programming or someone in the technical side, we should put them in the right space.
What do you guys think of moving from one department to another? For instance, for simulation world, let's say from Tech Anim to FX, that couldn't be a big problem.
Myself hate it right now because of one thing: pipeline. Because you are confronted with a different set of tools. And when like suddenly a day, because sometimes as a lead in a day you get asked, can you look at something that's completely out of your comfort zone? You'll have to learn everything from
just
scratch.
For like one small task.
While if everything was in a level plane, everything is using the same tool, same system, then it's
much easier.
I think it's much easier, and it's actually preferred, I think, to be able to jump between things, like be able to do cloth one day or do crowds or do.
If you use Houdini everything now, for instance. You can be in an environment for a month.
But
I've always been a generalist anyway.
Me too.
Like I've always done everything, and I love the whole pipeline. I love to light and render. And this for the first time I'm working in one very specific department, which is like fixing skin and doing cloth. I think you should. I mean, I don't think it would work producing that much work, the amount of visual effects and films that are coming out and series. I don't think it would work if everyone is a journalist. Like you have to be specialist.
Yeah, of course.
But just like personally, coming from a journalist background, I got this job in like creature effects now. But I still like. I mean, I didn't know what would be the equivalent of like a journalist in like a big company, but like look dev is something, right? Like, like I don't know. I love it all because I had to work in it all. Maybe also I get bored very quickly doing like a repetitive task. Whereas look dev, you get to like, like sketch something quickly, do it, like light it from that stuff. And which is like all the stuff that I do on the side is that kind of work. I love to see the outcome. I love to play around with the textures and the shaders. Whereas you don't need to. Maybe in effects you guys need to do it more because like sometimes you need to shade your effects and stuff, so you get to do that.
Yeah.
But
Now it's getting more specialized. We're getting like look dev Houdini artists, like look dev FX artists.
But the industry requires that.
We used
the
to have
industry
this.
wants that.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt
okay.
you, but we used to have this previously, not again in other, the various companies, because sometimes lighters, it's very hard for them to light FX or like volumes are very hard to have something that works pretty well. So most of the time it's better to let an FX artist do his own lighting, and then if you are lucky enough in a company where the lighting software used across departments is the same, then it's not that complicated
to move across.
Yeah. So, but the problem is when you do an amazing render, for instance, in Maya, and you have to render it in Houdini, that's a pain because
so much trouble.
It's very hard. Even if the artist in Houdini is very talented or skilled and know the pipeline very well, he's gonna get stuck at some point.
But also, I mean, I'm sure you get this a lot in effects. But also, like once you get a test render working good, but like you're gonna send it somewhere else, like you've already seen it in one way that you really like, either you or the supervisor. Like he's already seen the water being rendered as a test from the effects people, and they love it, and they couldn't get the same result there because you've already had your first. It's like the first impression with the person. You never get a second first impression. Like you've already seen the effect in that render, in that light. Take it to, you've done it whatever in Mantra, like for example, and then like take it to Render Man in Katana, and maybe it looks amazing. It looks great. But it looked so much nice. It looked different there.
But that's opening a door for something else, which is, okay, that's great. If it's planned from the very beginning and the effects department is aware that they're going to do the simulation, the render, and they will pass the renders to comp instead of passing through water through lighting, then you bid for it. That's again another problem, which is... And I agree, sometimes you see something and you like it, but when you do it for 1, 2, 3 shots, it's fine. But if you have 15 water shots and you have to do it for all the shots, you did not bid for it in FX. Well, there is some flexibility, of course. You can take those lighting days from lighters.
I mean, it's going to be the same thing after all.
But still, I mean, lighters will be using lighting days for something else. For instance, there is a character swimming in the water or some branches or something.
That's true.
Which is very complicated sometimes, to split and say, okay, I'm gonna take 1 or 2 days from lighting, and then I can do my lighting. I mean, and it's complicated. I agree with you, which is that's great to have some flexibility. And to be honest, I was pushing for it because sometimes compers are so, I mean, they're amazing. I mean, some compers are amazing.
Sometimes you get to do things in Houdini that are really difficult to replicate in other softwares. Like, for example, procedural shaders in Houdini. Some, like I've done, without saying project names, but I've done some big water stuff lately that had mainly white water made in shaders, but it's like close-up white water, but it's all in the shaders.
Of course, you can use vorticity for the shader, for instance,
for example,
or the velocity, for instance.
And it looks great and it's speedy. But if you're gonna send it to Katana, for example, it's not gonna be able to replicate that at all because they have to recreate the whole shader from scratch, and it's not going to happen.
Well, we did it in previous shows. I know we did it in previous shows, but that's another problem.
That's a massive,
it's not
massive
easy to do.
cost of time to just do that.
I mean, to replicate this, the thing is, since I know we did it for other projects, I know we can do it, but not necessarily the people who didn't done it are still there. That's another topic. Right. But I agree with you. It's time consuming.
Luckily, in this project, they just like the renders from Houdini, and they just like, let's use it in
render
comp.
4K and then send it to comp.
I'm a big fan of having everything done in one software, like Houdini, for example.
That's gonna be
Houdini.
Super.
Have you heard of Houdini?
Never heard of it.
If you have, it's a small software.
It's a tiny software. I use it. It doesn't even work on my phone. Now the thing is, but you can't do compositing in Houdini, for instance. It's just a four-step comping.
Excuse me? What about cops?
That's amazing. I can't live.
No, but I mean, you don't want to do compositing in Houdini.
Yeah, I agree. But when you say doing all the thing in one software,
I mean, like,
Can you do organic modeling in Houdini? It's super hard.
That's super hard. But what I mean, like when I said everything, it's what we now use 3 softwares for. Like for example, lighting, even like Maya stuff. Maya should be out of the system completely.
Slowly.
It's like deleted, honestly.
Well, it's true now. Houdini rigging is getting much better than Maya.
And they're investing a lot in
animation.
That front.
I don't know. I need to see that.
I think you just need to invest in people trying that front.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
They're gonna make their own tools to make it better.
That's true.
And they're gonna.
We have to jump.
Again, we always talked about earlier. Research.
Same thing. I mean, I'm not talking about it only in FX perspective, even from every department. Because
imagine how many fewer files you need to cache out if you need one software.
Yeah.
How much space, how much time you save. There's no limit.
It's endless. It's endless. I agree. I mean, look at this. I mean, if you have, for instance, I know not only in the MPC, but in many companies, like environment they're using Houdini. FX they're using Houdini, clothes they're using Houdini. I mean, there already at least 5 departments using Houdini.
Just long ago, they didn't use.
Makes it easier for people to connect. To send each other, like send stuff, work. Of course, it makes it easier. But like, I think everyone's understanding that, right? Like, the reason why it wasn't like that before is that everyone had to write custom tools, as you were saying before. But like now, because they're using that software that does all this stuff procedurally, it's easier, and like departments are moving to, like a lot of small companies, they just use Houdini.
Of course. Like, I mean,
smaller
I've seen a big,
you don't need
change in that lately.
You don't need R&D. You don't need, literally. I mean, even to do OTS, you don't need to be a scripter or whatever.
That's
just
the thing.
wrap it tool and that's it.
Of course, it doesn't even need code. You drag and drop most of the time.
It's almost like using Facebook. I'm exaggerating, of course. But
Meta, using Meta.
Meta, sorry.
But just to go back to a question you asked earlier about what I expect from a artist. There's one thing I think all artists should be better at, and that's being able to talk.
Yeah, true.
And what we called soft skills before, which a term I don't think we use anymore. But there's a big lack of communication skills in entry level jobs in VFX, or actually sometimes senior jobs, senior positions, senior people. They are not that good at
we are not sociable.
Communicate. We are very.
We are geeks.
Very.
I mean, that's the truth.
But that's also unfortunately, it's also personality. But that's what makes a difference between someone who will lead the team and someone who will just doesn't want to or doesn't really want to deal with
social issues,
because it's personality.
It
like
is.
You can't. It helps. Like
we need to break the ice, anyways.
I mean, a lot of people can get jobs because of their social skills.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Or even just by being pushy on LinkedIn and sending messages to everyone, or like it took me a while to like, no one is replying, and then like my friends who are already like in the industry and stuff, they're like, go find a recruiter, send them a message. Like, don't wait until the generic application because you're just a number. That's also communication skills, even though you're just communicating. But like, it needs that effort. It needs that push.
It's not only in that. It's even like, for example, in a session of dailies, right? I would actually appreciate some opinion from an artist too sometimes,
But is it required?
No, it is not.
But I mean,
that is the thing. Like,
maybe the production doesn't want the artist to give like their opinions.
But for example,
I don't think so. It's more. I think it's sorry to interrupt you. It's more a matter of time. I think it's not about giving opinion, but the thing is, imagine quickly. Sorry,
no, it's fine.
I interrupted you here.
It's okay.
But what I mean is, imagine you have 15 artists in a session of 1 hour.
You can't hear everyone's.
If each person is giving his opinion, but still, I totally agree with you. If you, Ali, as your lead, and you have an artist, and then daily session finished, and your artist said, "Well, I wish I would have more time to do this or that. I would see things differently, or I would." Try it differently. You don't have. I think in my opinion, you don't have to wait for the daily session to
It's like your separate team meeting.
Of
like
course.
Your own crew.
I think that's what lead is for, in my opinion. I mean, this should be. This is how we should be. You should have, like, I know it's hard. We already have a lot of meetings. Yeah. But this is very important. I mean, again, I know we talked about this in this podcast many times. Mindset is very important, and this is how we evolve by sharing knowledge with each other, sharing like even life knowledge, life experience. It's not necessarily like work. I mean, because sometimes Ali or Rany will tell me something, how he runs things, or even in his own life, then it will open other perspectives for me, other things, other way to see things.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things can be solved by just talking.
Exactly, I agree.
I agree. You don't realize the power of communication until you actually like do it. I think we share a lot, like, you know, like in like 3D software and outside. Like, it helps. It helps because you realize how much people are actually the same. You always feel alone with your problems, and you just, as soon as you talk to someone, they'll be like, well, you know, you remind me of this thing that happened to me. And you'll be like, wow, like everyone is very similar. It's just like, people are, we can be closed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I used to smoke, I think it's a great thing for social skills.
Yeah. Well, smoking. Yeah. It's a good social thing. You mean?
Yeah.
It's like go meet. Yeah, take a cigarette and like you'll meet the smokers.
Yeah, and the smokers and that small circle, you know.
Yeah.
So what I used to like about is we go outside and we talk about problems we had at work. And I remember back in the days, like I was quite a junior and some huge big artist. Talking to me, I said, "Why he's asking me things? I mean, I don't know even 0.001% of what he knows. I don't know what I said. It's like something clicked in his mind, and he's
like, that's it.
No. He threw the cigarette away and went back work. I said, what happened? And then 2 days later, he came to me. Thank you very much. I remembered something while talking to you, and I was able to fix my stuff.
It's like the rubber duck in programming.
Yeah.
But it's not only that. It's like now that I'm trying to make films and stuff like that, I get help sometimes from people, writers that haven't done like major films before. For example, it's not that always a choice, but. Sometimes the most creative people are the people that haven't been spoiled by everything else.
I agree. That's true.
And when you get a mindset that is like free, 100% creative, you know, it can give you a completely different image that you haven't seen, a perspective that you haven't seen before, which I think we should utilize more. I guess I'd try more. Just, you know.
No, I agree. I mean, to be honest, I love our industry. VFX in general, or movies in general. I mean, we worked in everything, movies, series. The only thing that bothers me the most is we used to have, or some companies have, and other company doesn't. Which I will give you an example. My wife is optician. Okay, my wife have more than 2 vouchers a year to have glasses for free. Okay,
for her, you mean?
For me as well. I mean,
okay.
I'm so happy. No, not you.
Okay. Can you see me? Okay.
You don't need glasses. I don't.
Not yet. No.
Your eyes are beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
You don't need hiding. Mine are tiny. Anyways, so you feel like you belong to an industry. Okay. Yeah. I know some companies do this, which is. They are allowed, like I think, £150 or £200 a year. Where you have to go to, it's a voucher where you have to go and watch movies with it, which is amazing.
Right.
In some other companies,
very important.
There isn't. Or now,
like the perks, you mean?
Yeah.
Like the perks you get from working with a company.
I know we have this, for instance, at MPC, but I mean, to a certain extent, for some companies, we don't have this. We don't have those goodies or those perks, and I think this is super important to know, like. T-shirts or stuff like this. People think, that's not very important. It is actually. It is
small things.
It's small things, but this is important. And most importantly, we participated in the movie as everyone else. Like, I don't know.
You want to be like recognized more, yeah.
No, I just
not
want to go.
recognized. Just like give me something.
I want to go to movies every week.
Okay.
That's why I jumped.
For free.
Yeah, for free. I worked in the industry.
Yeah.
I want to go see a movie at least once a week.
Not only.
I hear you.
Not only.
That's what I want to have. I want to have, I don't know, 50% less
discount. Yeah.
discount in my Amazon Prime, whatever.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And also, like, the more an artist watches these things, the better his eyes is
You sharpen
for
your
that.
eye.
Yeah. So it's a form of investment, cheap investment in an artist. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Because you can say, okay, I can watch this for free. I can take someone with me, and someone at some point, I don't know, his son. That's how we started.
And it makes you feel like you're part of this whole.
Yeah, you are part of a community. It's a community.
Yeah. Like you made that happen as well. It's not just it's all the people in the credits at the end. It's not just the director, right?
We can't say the name of the project we're working on now, but
we can't.
No, we can't.
Really? I don't know where did we sign anything?
We can't. Yeah. I will blur you and blur. So the project that we're working on is gonna be released in a certain platform. To watch this platform, I have to pay. Right?
Of course.
And I will be spending 2 years of my life working on this show. I know I'm getting paid. I understand that, of course.
Yeah.
Still, I would appreciate it
if they were like, hey, go watch it, watch the thing.
It's 6-7 pounds a month. I mean, for me, I'm not gonna die if I can't pay.
I know an Arab that can get you a deal.
No, I don't want an Arab. Thank you very much. I know few of them. Okay. But the thing is not about this. It's about.
If you want to watch it for free, just.
No, I don't. It's not that.
You want to watch it for free legally.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you want to be given the right to watch it for free.
Yeah.
No,
I want to appreciate, and I want to say, my company give me gift, or like there is amazing cinemas in Soho, amazing cinemas.
Yeah.
And if we continue like this with the pandemic and everything going on at the moment, they're gonna close.
Yeah.
Because no one will gonna watch. So to show appreciation as VFX artists and film lovers, if each company, there is 170 VFX company in London. It's unbelievable.
170?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
There is so much. So if each company give like £10 to each artist, I mean, you're gonna full cinema.
They'll reinitiate the industry, the cinema.
I think so. At least if we start ourselves, because I think we are losing cinema, and I'm very sad about this.
Like the big cinema.
Yeah, I mean, in the long run, we're gonna lose them. 5 to 10 years.
You think Dune would have been watched anywhere other than the cinema?
I don't know.
Did you watch it?
No.
You would watch it?
I don't want to watch it.
Why not?
I don't know. Everyone likes it. I mean...
so you hate it?
No, not necessarily.
I think you should watch it.
No, I need to go to the cinema, actually, to watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
It's out of the cinema now.
It's out of the cinema?
Yeah.
I watched it very late, but I found like 2 cinemas that still...
I will try to find the cinema and watch it, but to be honest, it's...
You're missing if you don't watch it.
I will go and try to watch it.
Just watch it on your phone. Just watch it.
With my Mac Tini.
Just watch the film.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry. I will watch it.
It's a nice gesture to be given something to support what you're doing and
of course.
But that's I feel like that industry is a bit out like behind in terms of like employee gratification and
used to be like this. That's the problem.
Yeah, but now it's behind because if you look at like the gaming companies. And if you look at the tech companies, and the social media companies, I know people that work at like Google. They used to give them like pixels at Christmas as a gift. Whereas
I can't name names, but I know a few VFX companies. At some point, they were offering iPhones, to the employees.
Yeah, but like you expect, you expect Google.
Yeah, it is true.
Okay.
Yeah. Not every year, but at some point they were offering like
maybe like senior stuff or something.
Yeah.
No, but you want that. Like they were giving pixels for every employee. Now there was like something, and then it happened. Then they're giving them like a percentage on the phone. so you can get it for like half price, and then the rest of it goes to a charity of your choice, for example.
That's
like,
great.
They do
Still
that
great.
kind
I
of
mean,
stuff.
give me the money and I'm happy to give it
I
to
know
charity.
a guy that just started working for Activision, Microsoft.
Yeah,
Whatever
Microsoft.
they're called now. They got a relocation amount of £15,000.
Wow. Relocation package.
Relocation package.
That's amazing.
I didn't believe it.
Well, in France, for instance, we don't have to go to 50,000 euros or pounds for relocation.
We don't deal with euros. Okay.
In France, the employer have to give you like at least 50% of your commute expenses. For every company, not only VFX or not VFX. So if you're like, for instance, they're traveling, it's like 50, 70, 100 euros, the company have to give you 50%.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that they have to do
You're not saying we should go to France.
No. No, I don't want to live in Paris, to be honest. If I have to choose between Paris and London, I would still live in London.
Okay.
But again, I think as a community, in my opinion, we should do something in that regard. Because
I totally agree.
You're the leads.
There's a lot.
No,
I agree.
There's a lot to be done, but we also have to acknowledge that there's things that are a lot better today than they were.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just a few years back.
And
the
before the
industry,
pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working now at MPC. I mean, we've worked in other companies before together.
Oh yeah,
and
it's
completely different.
Yeah, it is different. Yeah.
It's way more comfortable. But I totally agree. There's a lot of things to be done in every company. A lot of because especially in today, in this time where every company is trying to steal from each other, you know.
Oh, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I hate this as well.
Yeah, and
artists.
Well, I mean, they offer them higher salaries and they jump.
But it's a bubble. I mean, that's another stupidity. It's like, okay, everyone knows it's a bubble. It's a bubble. It's not gonna last for long.
Yeah.
2-3 years and that's it.
Yeah.
And then what? You're gonna go back to the salary that you had 2 years ago. That's it. Well, it's cool. You're gonna have more money now, but okay, not necessarily better experience, not necessarily better knowledge. You might have, but again, I think other companies have to fight differently, not necessarily by raising the money. They should fight differently, meaning better work environment, better, as we were talking now, what can you offer as a person? What can you offer to the next generation? I mean, we always talk about ourselves.
I think there's a good balance between the two. I think, I think that the industry has been better lately in many ways, but I mean, the starting salaries was like before the pandemic or before that a bit. They were terrible.
It was
they
ridiculous.
were terrible. So I think at some point, hopefully, it's going to be more leveled up and it's going to be better.
I agree with that.
Because someone who has like multiple degrees, like I know someone with 2 bachelors and 2 masters, and who has worked in VFX, but not necessarily in shots, you know.
Wow. And
he still gets like, well, before the pandemic, he was getting like the lowest tier of salary.
I mean, some of our masters classmates got offered runners jobs,
which is terrible.
Seriously.
Yeah, it was like
someone that did like 4 years of visual effects or 3 years of visual effects and then 1 year of masters in visual effects and gets offered the job as a runner.
Yeah, no, that's
so the plane is hopefully, I mean, it's going to be more
still, I mean,
they still do it.
But not today, not as much as
not
before.
as much because we need a lot of people now.
Exactly. And also that is the issue now, that there is more demand for people than there is people to so the salaries and everything would be higher. But hopefully it's going to help generally the next generation to have like someone who's spent like what seems like a lifetime just studying and having and working in industries to get a job in the industry shouldn't be getting a salary that's the same as someone working in a restaurant, for example.
Yeah,
exactly. That It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
To be honest, it's not about working in restaurants. It depends which level in the restaurant. I agree with
exactly, but I mean,
I see what you mean. It's like entry level jobs. So you have, I mean, people. It's not easy to get to this job, and it's not easy to learn to get this job.
It's technical and artistic at the same time.
It's very hard to find this kind of people. Like they're willing and passionate enough to move forward and work with you.
I guess now because they need more people, they have to be more attractive. Like because they want the people. But before, it was more niche, and they made you feel
it's still a niche anyway.
I know, but like before, I'm sure it still happens, but it was more that. Like you should thank us for working with, like, you know what I mean, like you want to work in film, like we're giving you the opportunity, so just take whatever. Even for me, like if they gave me a junior position, even after all this time trying to get to the industry, if they offered me a junior position with a low-ish salary, I would have probably still left my old job and did it, because I've always wanted to work for the industry.
Yeah, because you need to step in.
Because you need to step in. I would have done it. So, and I guess that's how everyone thinks, because we do cool stuff. Because it's a lovely industry. Because you're doing
amazing.
Magic, right?
Yeah,
like you're doing
the industry is amazing.
When you tell someone that you work in visual effects, like,
no, that's true. I mean, the cool thing with our job, especially in FX, and tell me if you agree with me or not, Ali, is every time you do something, it's not, the next time, even if it's the same thing, you're gonna do different.
That's very true.
That's amazing. In which in any industry you can do that. You can't. Long story short, we said second or third
time in one podcast. That's not too bad.
It's not too
bad. I think it's
like
3 or 4 times now. I've been counting
in the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for counting.
That's okay.
So I think cinema is important. Going to the cinema is important, and I know because of the pandemic we were not able to do it, and I agree with that because we need to be safe, and I totally agree with all of this.
But things are open again, just like you know.
Exactly. Now things are opening again thanks to Boris Johnson. So I think it's the opportunity now to push people to go more to the cinema, and I think our industry can help rebuild it actually, instead of relying on I don't know, with June or Nolan and whoever. No, we can watch old movies, you know. I'm very happy if
you love independent cinemas, there's one next to my flat. I'm not kidding. Like,
it's
really cool. It's actually an old Art Deco building.
Okay. Let's go and watch a few movies there, because I really like those type of cinema, because there is something. There is like
and they play reruns of old films sometimes, but they also play new films. They mix.
I would love to see like a Leone 70mm Leone, any of Leone movies. Tomorrow.
70mm.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not many cinemas that have that.
There isn't. I agree. Yeah. That's why we have to push, and our industry is here because of these movies. We have to be grateful. I think.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
There's also there's a cinema called Prince Charles Cinema in Soho.
In Soho,
That's a
that's
very
amazing.
nice one.
That's an amazing one.
That's where I did the Lord of the Rings marathons.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Lucky you.
They have like multiple. They always have like events there, right?
They have diners.
I think they have multiple.
They have a diner. No.
I don't know.
If you go on the website, like they have multiple events like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
they have different types of marathons.
They do marathons.
They have like.
Do you wear a diaper or something?
You're really into diapers these days, huh?
No,
I'm getting old.
So these are not for your son. The diapers are for you.
Soon he's gonna
he's gonna put them on you.
He's getting bigger, so that I would be able to wear his diaper at some point. So do you need diapers to go and binge watch?
No, because they have breaks. They have half an hour break between the films,
like intermissions, like a theater play.
Oh wow, amazing! Okay,
yeah,
but,
of course. It's a 4-hour film for each film. It's
at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been with him to these types of.
You should, man. Next time.
Marathons.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll take you next time.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The uncut version.
Yeah.
The director's cut.
Yeah. All of them.
Okay.
Not director's cut.
Extended edition.
The extended.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the director's cut.
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay, just an extended edition. I mean, I've definitely not seen the extended edition of
Extended of the producer of the VFX.
I've seen the ones that were given to me
Back in the day.
back in the day, and
For free by the
not for free.
Arab.
You got. Oh no! I watched it. I watched the films in the cinema.
Did you really?
I paid for
wow.
it. Yeah,
Wow.
of course.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
Paid for it with my hard-earned father's money. I was a kid.
No, cool. It was great having you both, and I know we could keep talking for hours and hours and hours. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Rany. Is there
Thank
anything
you
you want to
very
add,
much.
any of you?
Well, we're just thankful to be here, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It was
No,
a really
anytime.
fun, really fun
Anytime.
chat.
I wasn't actually expecting to be here because I wanted Rany to tell his stories mostly, but
I'm very happy to have you both.
appreciate
I mean,
you being asking me to. Thank you.
no, anytime.
Yeah, really appreciate what you're doing. I mean, the podcast, the whole thing is really cool.
Thank you.
And maybe you should leave your house, start coming back to work, so we can see you more often. This
No,
working from home pandemic thing is gonna end.
No.
Just don't normalize it anymore.
I have chronic diseases. I can.
Oh man.
Unfortunately, I wish I could, but
Okay.
yeah.
We'll
we-
knock on your door more often then.
Yeah, anytime. You're more than welcome. No, I mean, I would like to go back to the office and see you guys more. And I have to, anyways. So we'll plan it.
Don't work. Just come say hi.
Well,
Yeah,
when
As a
you-
lead, I don't know. If this is
Well, it's not gonna
good-
happen.
Yeah, good example.
But when you come, we'll roll down the red carpet for you
Cool.
for the.
And we'll give you free cinema tickets. Don't worry. Me and
No.
him will buy those
No.
€5. We'll
No.
buy you cinema tickets.
No,
and we'll
no.
tell you this is from NPC.
No,
It's
no,
from the
no, no,
company.
no, I feel like I'm begging to have free cinema tickets. It's not at the moment.
No. You
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
know where they come from. You just know that you will get
No, I
free
want.
tickets.
It's not about NPC actually. It's about the industry.
Yeah,
it's
no,
the
I
problem
agree.
is
Okay.
the industry.
Yeah.
It's not only at NPC actually. It's
Yeah, you're
everywhere.
talking about the
It's,
whole.
Frames
yeah,
are
it's,
ordinary,
it's every
everyone.
company. It's every company.
Yeah, it's even small company. I don't know, Intold or whoever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't seen it in any company actually.
No,
I haven't seen.
I mean,
yeah,
no.
it's-
There is few companies who giving you vouchers. So they give you
Okay.
150 euros, pounds voucher per year, and you have to go to cinema.
That's not too bad.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't want. I'm not asking for
we
more.
do get to see the films we make though in the company.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's
Just-
not happy about that.
Nah.
He wants
so
the
you know.
real cinema.
No, I mean, we used to have it. For
It's a real
instance,
cinema.
at MPC, we went to actually MPC rented the BFI to go and watch Jungle Book,
Yeah.
and same for Lion King. So it's amazing. No, not Lion King was. I'm not sure it was BFI, but this is amazing. And all the movies at MPC, you go the premiere, you go and watch the movie. That's amazing. I love this, but this should not stop at the premiere of the movie, and it should not stop at the movie you worked on. It should
Yeah.
be on all
Yeah.
the
It should be a
movies.
thing for you to feel that you're working in the movie industry.
Yeah, what's the difference between me and anyone else working in the industry? There's no difference.
It's like a librarian without a library card.
Exactly. Here we go.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. This
Wow.
Yeah, that's
use it
very
next
helpful.
time.
Yeah. I mean that's exactly it.
What an ending, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing ending. Yeah, I need the library card and I need cinema card
For my cinema.
Yeah, from VFX industry. I want the VFX industry to pay for it, or the producer, whoever. I mean, the people who are giving. I mean, the guy of Life of Pi thanked his driver and did not thank VFX people for his movie. So
Didn't that company shut down?
yeah, unfortunately, one of the best companies on the planet. Actually,
Rhythm and
Hughes. Yeah. So I mean, we have to be grateful, and this type of example. We don't need those type of people for us. We need different people.
True.
Different directors, different producers that appreciate everyone, not necessarily the VFX. We are talking about VFX now because we work in the VFX industry, but we need to appreciate every department in the movie because making a movie is not easy.
It's very
Of course.
We know, we are in the filmmaker in a way. So meaning, just raising £1,000, it's a pain.
It's difficult. It's very.
So
difficult.
imagine raising billions or millions to do a movie. So you have different appreciation to producers when you try to do a movie.
Yeah,
So
of
it's the
course.
same thing. I mean, every industry, every department needs to be recognized or appreciated, for the hard work they're doing. Everything. I mean, location scouter, writers. They have peanuts compared to. They're doing the movie without writing, without a good writing, without a good screenplay. You have no movies. You have
Yeah,
no
of
movies.
course.
I mean, one of my favorite movies is I forget the name. How is that possible? Children of Men. Children of Men is amazing.
Film,
The movie is amazing.
Lovely film. Yeah.
When you read the
film.
book of P.D. James and the screenplay by Alfonso Cuarón and many other people who wrote the script, there is a big difference almost. There is a difference between... You can feel that the movie got inspired from the book, but not necessarily telling the story of the book. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the movie is amazing. The movie is amazing. It's inspired from the book, it's true, but still, I mean,
it's a different thing.
Yeah, it's a different field. A writer of a book and a writer of a screenplay is two different jobs, more or less.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. So
yeah, everyone is. We're all like everyone needs to do their
it's a little bit
their push to get it at the end.
So if you are not appreciative of the work of the people around you, you don't deserve the position. As simple as that. That's how I see it.
Yeah,
that's true.
There's many unsung heroes in especially in VFX that no one talks about. For example, the cleanup artists and like the roto and the no one mentions. And
they are. I mean, I can't do it.
The roto artists are the
not only that, they don't even get a credit on screen sometimes.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still exists, but if you worked in a movie for less than a month, you're not credited. So imagine how many people just did something. And anyways, I don't want to go.
Anyway, this is another topic
for
another time.
Thank you very much to both.
Thanks,
I
man.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much, man, for having us.
Let's see. I mean, I always say this, but maybe we do another episode another time. We never know.
Yeah, I mean, we're very close to you and we're in the same company, so we can always swing by, as they say.
That will be great because we can talk in more depth in many other topics inside the industry, and we'll see. Yeah. Sounds good?
Cool.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you to both.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Have a great evening and or morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.